Okay, welcome to part 2 of tutorial A. In this tutorial, I'm going to go over the user interface of Revit. But before I do that, there's two things that I want to show you that I wasn't able to show in part 1 of this tutorial. The first is the actual the Facebook page for our class. And this is the name that you can see here. So if you're already not a member, you can use this to find the page and request to be a member. The key, this Facebook page is actually going to be very important because we post a lot of stuff on here that may be useful to you guys. One, I post videos on here that are through YouTube, but it's easier for you guys to find them if I just post them through here. But some of the professors, they may post some things, maybe some helpful videos, key articles that may be useful to anyone, some stuff on architectural drawings and, diagrams and stuff like that to help you present your ideas. And then there's other information and kind of tools that you may be able to use. And, just kind of quick things that you can go through and see what's there when you first join to see what's already been posted. And then obviously keep an eye on it throughout the semester to see the videos that I post and any other information on there. The second thing that I wanted to talk about was Box, which I have it as a bookmark already created. But if you go to, and what Box is, it's basically a cloud-based storage system like Dropbox or Google OneDrive. And this semester it's replacing the FTP site, so they want us to use Box. But to get to it, if you go to the University of Miami website, and then with the tools, go to MyUM, and then you log in using whatever you would log in with CaneLink or Blackboard, so it's the same username and password as those two. And then the last option is Box. So you'd click on Box, just hit continue, and then it kind of works like Blackboard in the sense where whatever classes that use Box, you'll see a folder for them. So if the professor has shared the folder with you, you'll see that folder. So you see on mine, I only have ARC 306, which is your guys' class. So you'd click on that, and then you see there's a folder for each professor. So a lot of your work is going to go into, whatever professor that you have for your section. And then we have another folder for slide library that, sometimes, whatever the professors kind of present to you, they may be in the slide. It's already actually started to be populated, so it's information that you may want to look through. Course material is stuff like the syllabus, and you start to do some research on the site that's on there as well. And then you can see the Revit tutorial video. So I post them to Facebook, but I also put all the videos on here as well. So you could always download them and keep them for your records, or sometimes if you're going to be working somewhere without internet, you can download the video before you before you go go to that place, and then you can just watch the video without the internet. So that's why I do that as well. So those were the two things that I wanted to cover quickly. Now to get into the user interface of Revit. So when you first double click on Revit to open it, this is what you're going to get. And projects are obviously projects that it's like a project that you work on, a full building design or something like that. A family is kind of what makes up the project, so like walls and tables and windows, those are families. And you could always create your own, if you ever needed to, but Revit comes with, windows and doors and like that already loaded, and you can kind of duplicate to kind of start to use your own. The other areas that you can go is Revit City. And this is free to join, so if you join this, if you don't have an account already, you can. And then if you click on downloads, you can search for basically any type of Revit family file that you want, and this is something that you can, quickly, if I'm just trying to look for something, you can start to see different types of family files that people have already created and uploaded to, kind of like a community storage area. And then you can download these and use as is, or if you wanted to, you could always update them to use on your own. To kind of create your own variation of it. And then another one is Autodesk Seek, which is it's very similar. It's another kind of community-based storage area where you can search for stuff, try to find families that are already there for you, kind of help you to save time instead of trying to create a family from scratch. It may be easier to do it that way. But what shows on the project file, the project portion, and even if you ever did families, but it shows the last 4 files that you've recently opened. So if you ever open, once you start to open your own files, this is where they're going to be. You see here, you can always, there's 4 different types of templates that come with Revit. Obviously for each different types of disciplines: mechanical, structural, architectural, and construction. If you're ever to start, a project for another class on your own, you'd probably want to use the architectural template, which I'm going to open for a second just to show you what it looks like. And the big thing that I want you to note here is kind of the layout. And what this is the project browser that kind of organizes all your different views, so your floor plans and your elevations and stuff like that. And then sheets where your title blocks and stuff are. So this is kind of like a simple one that comes in with that template. But if I close out of this, what a lot of firms do is they actually create their own templates to use for their firm themselves. So everything's kind of loaded in already, all settings and everything are set to go. So every time they start a new project, they don't have to worry about doing anything with setting a drawing up over and over again. So that's what I've done with for this class. Is there's an ARC 306 template which will be up on the box, the cloud-based box, which I just showed you. It'll be in the same folder where there's Revit tutorials, where it says tutorial A, B, and C folders. It'll just be right there. It won't be in any specific folder itself. This is actually once I will post, that will be up probably middle of the week or so, once I actually finish creating the site for you guys, because I'm actually going to create the site for you, which is going to be part of tutorial B that I will show. And then before I open that, if you ever hit open, this would let you search. Obviously, it's just like any other program. If you hit open, it'll let you search. Then if you ever hit new by accident instead of creating a template, this lets you just choose your template. So if you had a template file already created, you could browse for one. Once you download this template and have it, you can probably, when you first open it, you can just open. You can always double click on a file itself and it'll open right up in the program, just like most files for any type of program. So when I open the ARC 306 template, this is what I kind of want to show you with the project browser. So what I did here is I've set this up. So I set this up to organize all the different views and the different disciplines that you'll have throughout the semester. So that way, what was in the architectural template that I had open, floor plans are kind of just in one category, so it can get confusing if you have mechanical floor plans and architectural floor plans and they're all in the same place. You kind of get lost on where they are. And then you can see here I have sheets set up the same way, where this one, the preliminary schematic design, would be more for kind of like what you do up to like mid-semester, or basically what you've done in other studios. And then the rest of the stuff are what construction documents would look like, and you'll be producing for the end of the semester. The project browser itself and how it's set up and how you get it to actually work with the views, I'll show later on in this video. But what I want to do is I actually want to go from top to bottom and kind of introduce you to the whole user interface. So just like most programs, you kind of have the main menu button, just like in AutoCAD or like a Microsoft Word. This allows you to create a new from here, open something, save as, export anything. This is the types of stuff that you can export out of, and then print is here as well. Then this kind of little section right here is called the Quick Access Toolbar. So it just kind of has quick buttons that you can click on. Obviously, this is open and save, undo and redo. This button is to add text quickly. So you click on that and then you can start adding text. This brings you to a default 3D view automatically. So say if I'm in a plan view, which I'm in, if I hit that button, I automatically go to a 3D view, which you can see by the cube. I'm now in 3D. This is a section, so this is the tool that you use to create a quick section quickly. Obviously, so all you do is in your floor plan, you just draw a section, and then it creates the actual section for you. Also, if you ever hover over a button and kind of just leave it there, it'll create like a kind of description. Sometimes there's going to be videos that kind of show you quickly what it does. But then obviously you can always hit F1 to kind of bring you to the online user manual if you ever need to look something up. This button right here is very helpful, called thin lines. What this does is it turns on the line weights on and off. So right now I have it off, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it on a wall quickly to show you what I mean by this. And I have it so the hatch patterns come in. Let me try to put it on a different level so I can get it to work to show you what I mean. Okay, so here we go. So you can see how thick the outside lines are because of the hatch patterns. The line weights for the exterior of these are set. If you hit this thin line buttons, it turns everything thin. So while you're working, when your drawings come to be very populated, you can hit thin lines, and that'll kind of help you. That'll help you start to see things a little bit better and kind of maneuver the project a little better. The second, this button right here is close hidden windows. So every time you click on a new kind of view, previous views are actually still open behind. So you can see everything that I clicked on is still open. And if you click this, it closes all those background views. So if you have a very big file, you probably want to hit that every now and then just to kind of clean it up a little bit. This is kind of like it just shows the name of the file, so you can always see what file you're in, just in case you ever get confused. It shows you the name, and then it shows you the actual view that you're in. So this is floor plan A101 site, so it needs that as well. So if you ever get lost, especially with this kind of setup, sometimes you may not know what view that you're in. You can always look to that to see the view. Then here you can search for stuff if you ever need to search for anything. This signs you into the Autodesk Cloud. And this is the same password that you use to download Autodesk, I believe. I can double check on that. But what that does is a lot of the stuff that Revit does is done through the cloud, so you always have to make sure that you're logged in. And obviously if you try to run something and you're not logged in, it'll just ask you to log in. So stuff like the energy analysis that we do, and then even renderings can be done in the cloud to help you save time instead of trying to do it right on the computer itself. So the next thing I want to talk about are these tabs, which are called the ribbon, but I'm actually running out of time on this video, so I'm going to stop here and then just continue on with part 2 of this one.